Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to An Article a Day Creates an Excellent Way, the smart way to enhance your vocabulary and expressive skills. My name is Swayam Prakash Raut, student of class 12, Kendra Vidyalaya Malkangiri. I am going to read out today's article to you. I will not only read this article, I will explain you in an interesting way this article to you. Here is today's article. Watch and enjoy. Namaste. We will read about I will explain about nanotechnology. Nanoscience is a field of science which is concerned with study of atoms, molecules, and objects whose size is on nanometer scale. If we see the meter scale, we can see that there is kilometer, meter, centimeter, decameter, decimeter, and many others like that nanometer. But nanometer is at micro level. Other, if you will see millimeter and if you consider millimeter also, it is at micro level. So we are going to study about at micro level studies. For example, gold at micro scale is chemically inert, but at nanoscale it behaves as a catalyst. Science students can relate with this surface chemistry. When the surface area increases, when the surface area increases, the rate of adsorption also increases. At the same time, their behavior at micro level also changes. The reason for this is the change in the fundamental property of a matter due to the increased ratio of surface area to volume, which leads to altering the physical, thermal, and catalytic properties. If you will see, when they are at the micro level, there will be different structure and there will be specific functions. Like their physical properties will change, thermal properties will also change, and their catalytic properties also change. Okay, then if you will see, I will relate this nanotechnology. It was not invented today or yesterday or not by day-to-day scientists. This was invented many years ago. Before Christ we had invented, but to express that in a logical way, the scientists had brought that by biomimics. But if you'll see in history, there is nanotechnology, and in this video, I will make you feel with, and I will make you fall in love with lizards. You will think that I am making a joke or something, but I will surely, I can give you the guarantee that I will make you fall in love with lizards. Let's see how is it. Here you can see, beetle. This is the beetle. This is the fly, and this is the spider, and this is the gecko. Gecko, it is also a lizard. And how we can say that lizard, spider, fly, and this beetle are working at micro level. Here you can see that there are hair tentacles on their legs, which are 2 micrometer. I am saying about the hairs. If you will see the inside of their hairs, then that will be in nanometer. Likewise, lizards also have their legs, and their legs also have some kind of enzymatic properties, which is at micro level, which makes them to crawl upside down. You will see this interesting here. This is the lizard. How, if you will make a question, how does this lizard gecko hang upside down? How? If you will think, there are nanostructure in their legs. Here you can say the structural hierarchy of the gecko adhesive system. AB is the gecko 2 pads. Here you can see that. Here, gecko 2 pads. These are the gecko 2 pads. And here you will see gecko setae. Here we will see gecko setae. This is the gecko setae. Sorry, this is the gecko setae, and this is a single setae of a tokay gecko. This is, here you can see, this is the leg, and the legs are also very small in structure, micro level in structure, that is 1 micrometer. If you'll see their inside of this will be in nanometer. they have some kind of properties at micro level as they are working on micro level, so that helps them to stick upside down. Okay, then we will see what about nanotechnology. So scientists got a wonderful idea. Why not copy what Mother Nature is doing? This was nanotechnology was happening from the historical, prehistorical, or we can say that from the before Christ, and thus was born of biomimetics. Biomimetics. What is biomimetics? The imitation of the way nature structured to solve complex human problems. There are many complex human problems, like in diagnosing the patients, nanoparticles are used. If you are, I will say interesting thing that many of us the dream of buying very expensive cars, and if there any miscarriages happen to that cars by rain, how we can prevent that? That is the only use of nanoparticles. In expensive cars, nanoparticles are used. That's why that prevents the rain from rusting the car. Okay, then we will see here. You will see science and technology. In science, this is the bacteria. This is the bacteria. How we can say that this helps in diagnosing? This is the bacteria, and this is the nanorobot, or we can say the nanobot. Okay, this nanorobot is a structural element or the very small element or the micro elements which are used, and some softwares were developed. Such a kind of software were developed to kill the specific bacteria, or the to if there will be reverse transcription, they will make it the normal transcription. Likewise, the nanorobot are made with special kind of softwares by which they can enter the body and kill that specific bacteria. Nanoparticles are bacteria specific. They will not even kill the means good bacteria or which are useful for our body. They will only kill those specific bacteria which are coded inside the nanobot or the nanorobot. Then we will see what is nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is the use and the developments of techniques to study physical phenomena and develop new material and devices structure in the physical size range from 1 to 100 nanometers. That is nanometer. The concept that seeded nanotechnology were first discussed in 1959 by renowned physicist Richard Feynman in his talk "There's Plenty of Room at the Bottom", in which he described the possibility of synthesis via direct manipulation of atoms. You can read all those boring topics, but I will only give examples of practical life and applications. In nanotechnology, the term nanotechnology was used for the first time by Richard Feynman in 1959 in his article "There is Plenty of Room Left at the Bottom". The term nanoscience was first defined by Japan scientist Norio Taniguchi. These are the three persons who invented nanotechnology, or we can say that they had shown the path by which we can get the achievements in nanotechnology. Then we will see size comparison. In size comparison, water molecule and glucose, antibody, virus, bacteria, cancer cell, diameter of human hair, a period, a tennis ball. We can see here many parameters in which you can see that the nanotechnology works under the size of 10 to the power 2 nanometer. Nano devices, nanopores, dendrimers, nanotubes, quantum dots, nano holes or nano cells. So this is the nanometer scale. We can see that the antibody and the virus, we are basically using nanotechnology in our we can say that we can use in medical diagnosing. So why we are using nanotechnology? Because there is a reason. Everything has a reason. So the reason is antibody viruses fix means comes under the action of nanoparticles by which we can use nanotechnology for that evacuation of the diseases. Okay, so tennis ball is 10 to the power 8, and it is 10 to the power 7, it is 10 to the power 6, 10 to the power 5, 10 to the power 4, 10 to the power 3. But if you will say about nano devices only work under 10 to 10 to the power 2 nanometer. Okay, then we will see the next slide. Yes, here is the atom. They works at not only atomic level, they also works at quark level. Quark, you know that the smallest atom at 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter, nucleus 10 to the power minus 12, then neutron 10 to the power minus 13, electron we know that this is the lightest one, so 10 to the power minus 16, then quark 10 to the power minus 16, equivalent to electron. So basically in nanoparticles we can see that here you can see that atoms vary a lot in size due to number of protons, neutrons and electrons. They are all nanometer sized. 1 nanometer is always equal to 10 to the power minus meter. All the science students know this. This requires no explanations. Okay, so what are the approaches to nanotechnology? There are two types of approaches. One is bottom up. In bottom up there comes two: top down approach and bottom. There are two approaches: top down approach and bottom up approach. Materials and devices are built from the molecular components which assemble themselves chemically by principles of molecular recognitions. Molecular recognitions. uh, Materials and devices are built from the molecular components which assemble themselves chemically by principles of molecular recognition, that is carbon nanotubes built using graphene. We will later on read about graphene. First of all, we will see the two approaches. What are the two approaches? One is top-down approach and another one is bottom-up approach. Creating nanoscale materials by physically or chemically breaking down larger materials. And another bottom-up approach is assembling nanomaterials atom by atom or molecule by molecule cell. We can say that here we can take the methodology of nuclear fusion and fission. In fission, a single nucleus breaks down to various nucleus and gives energy. Like that, many nucleus combines to give one nucleus. So that will be bottom up approach. Many nucleus will combine to get bottom up approach, and many one nucleus break down to give various nucleus, that is top down approach. So I think it will be clear about this. So example is carbon nanotubes, and the what we use here, we will read about graphene. It is a substance composed of, if I will tell that the structural unit in nanoparticles which we use basically in today's life is the graphene. So it is a substance composed of pure carbon, where the length of carbon bond is 0.142 nanometer. The term graphene was coined as a combination of graphite and the suffix "in". Here we can say that while we were seeing that in the sense there will be a double bond. In benzene ring, there will be a double bond here, here, here. So this double bond is called in. Okay, this was given by Hans Peter Bohm. Hans Peter Bohm. Note, the Nobel Prize in Physics for 2010, this is recently only, 2010, was given to Andrew Geim and Konstantin Novosel for groundbreaking experiment regarding 2D material graphene. So graphene is basically a 2D material. Okay. Then graphene conducts electricity faster than silicon. It can also resist temperature up to 150 degree Celsius. Hence, it has become favorably used in ICs and PC boards, which is basically AI technology, artificial intelligence technology, in which in artificial technology we use some motherboards or such kind of things in which IC circuit is used. So in which nanoparticles are also used. These are ICs and PC boards. This is graphite, and the modified structure of graphite is the graphene. So this is the graphene. Why graphene was chosen? Because the electrical conductivity of graphene was favorable to be used in nanotechnology. What are the approaches again to nanotechnology? Top-down approaches and other two approaches you had read in the upper section. so I am not going to read this. Then what are the applications of nanotechnology? In today's era, the applications of nanotechnology is more important, because these are tiny particles that have special properties that are used in some areas which have very high significance. For example, nanoparticles of titanium dioxide used in some suntan lotions and cosmetics. These are mainly used by ladies. We can say that to remove some very costly cosmetics from the skin, we use nanoparticles. These tiny particles are transparent on skin and can absorb and reflect UV rays. So while reflecting the UV rays, they take out the cosmetics with them. So that's why nanotechnology is used in sun tanning lotions and cosmetics. Okay. Here you can see that in polymer also use nanotechnology. In other things, here there are 5 to 6, 8 2 examples. Here you can see what are the basic requirements for a nanotechnology. Here you can see. And the second use is in nanomedicine. This is of great significance also in cancer treatment, also in some tumor, also in tumor causing diseases, there also nanomedicines are used. So it is the field of technology where nanomaterials and devices are designed for medical purposes of diagnosis, prevention of disease, treatment of injury, and drug delivery. Here I had explained that. Here you can see, here I had explained that one, why this was used in nanomedicine, because here you can see that this is the bacteria and this is the nanorobot. The nanorobot is bacteria specific. That's why it will kill that bacteria which is harmful for our body, and that was which was already coded in that nanorobot. So the basically the function of nanorobot is specific, bacteria specific. This will only kill the bacteria which is harmful for our body, not the good one. So this is the basic principle by which we can use nanotechnology in nanomedicines. Okay. Then after we can see nanopharmacology. It is the science which involves linking of fabricated nanomaterials to biologically active compounds or molecules to be used as proofs and drugs to identify and target abnormal cells. There are abnormal cells in, we can see in cancer causing cells are abnormal, which causes metastasis, which causes devastating means harm to our body. So to prevent that, we use nanopharmacology. So nanomaterials had a great significance in nanopharmacology. Basically, we can say that nanotechnology had a great achievement in medical sciences. Then after we will come about nano robots. Medical nanorobots would circulate freely throughout the body, injected into the bloodstream. So nanoparticles are mainly or the nanoparticles modified medicines are injected into the bloodstream directly. This would carry drugs which will be selectively released on coming in contact with the abnormal cells. As you know that in our cell wall is our plasma membrane is selectively permeable. It will not allow all those material which are required by our cells. It will allow those means nutrients or those particles which are only essentially required by our body. So likewise, nanoparticles also are selective in nature. So if some kind of software will be developed in that nanoparticles by which it will it will have the potency to enter the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, by which it can inhibit the growth of abnormal cell. If it will inhibit the abnormal cell, then the disease will be in control. The next slide will. So there is a revolutionary super hydrophobic coating that repels water and refined oils using nanotechnology. Before some time I was talking about expensive cars and other things. So there we use nanotechnology. In some general car, there is nanotechnology is not used, due to which you can see the rusting of the car. But in you will see in various expensive cars, you will see the application of nanotechnology. Here we will see this is the this is such a material when it will be coated on the surface of car. This is the this is at the fundamental material. This is not the last or the end of material which will give the finishing of, but it is the end. This is the basic material on which it has the property to slide down the water over it. It will never retain the water in it. So basically, when the water will fall on the car, it will not get stick to one place. It will got slide down. That's why nanoparticles are used. In military applications, biomedical engineers are trying to develop nanomechanical olfactory sensors, nose to detect characteristic substances, such as if the your suppose your opponent is using some various harmful substances for the defeat of the accused. So here we use the nanoparticles, in which smart dust may be deployed for stealthy monitoring of a hostile environment. We will use some dust which will kill or which will anesthetic your means your opponent. These are used in also clothing, biorobots, nanorobots, biological sensing, chemical sensing, military platforms, robotics. Basically, nanotechnology has been used in robotics recently. One robot was used as a olfactory sensors by various army forces also. Then you will see some army barracks are made such that with a nanoparticle which will not allow the gun or something harmful substance to penetrate this kind of walls. But here you can see that you can see that in this part of the wall the water got absorbed, but here the substances which are harmful for that bricks or the that embankment will not allow such kind of particles which will penetrate it. For that nanoparticles is used. You can see that waterproof mobiles, in generally waterproof mobiles, nanotechnology is used, in which if you will put the mobile in water, it will not get damaged and will get the original mobile in its original form without any damages. So here also nanotechnology is used. In nano solar panels also nanotechnology is used. Nanotechnology can be incorporated into solar panels to convert sunlight to electricity more efficiently, promising inexpensive solar power in the future. Nanostructured solar cells could be cheaper to manufacture and easier to install, since they can use print-like manufacturing processes and can be made in flexible rolls rather than discrete panels. So if you will want that solar panel to be adjusted in a small space, so we need to bend it. So how can we will bend it? By the use of nanoparticles. Nanoparticles will have the ability or the potency of bending, because they are at nanostructure, means they are at micro level, so they will not get harmed easily. Potential hazards due to nanotechnology, as we know that in science there is a advantage, there is also disadvantages. If you are using in a right direction, that will be advantage for the human mankind, but if you will use it in other way, then it will be a disadvantage. Critics of nanotechnology point the potential toxicity to a new class of nano substances that might alter balance both ecologically and for a person individually. Scientists term this as nano pollution. And every problem has a solution. For nano pollution, there may be many type of solution which will be invented later on, or the scientists are mainly working on nanotechnology more in today's era. So here again we will see uh, nanopollution. If you will see what is the nanopollution, nanopollution is the generic term given for all waste generated by nano devices or during the nanomaterial manufacturing processes. Example, nanoparticles of titanium dioxide that is used in sunscreen lotions and cosmetics can get into food chain and cause aging of colon cells. So basically we can see that this is biomagnification. This is, here it is telling all about the biomagnifications. In biomagnification, if you in one tropic level the toxicity level will increase, then it will harm the next tropic level, then the toxicity increases with the increase in tropic level. That's why if you will use the nanoparticles, if the vultures or any birds are eating after our death, then the trophic level of toxicity will increase by 10% rule, which you know that. And cadmium selenide nanoparticles can cause cadmium poisoning. So these are some of the practical applications. After that, you will see nanotechnology in India, current status and future prospects. So, what are the means? What are the basically what are the achievements in India regarding nanotechnology? Here we will see. So here it is. In 2007, the government of India launched a 5-year program called Nano Mission. It was allocated a budget of rupees 1000 crores, and many institutions and departments were roped in for the work, such as the Department of IT, DRDO, Department of Biotechnology, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. Mainly, CSIR is working more hard in this nanotechnology sciences, because it is a industrial scientific council. So it is working more on nanotechnology. If you will see the CSIR. CSIR is the most renowned institute of India in regarding of research. India ranked third in papers published in 2018, behind only the USA and China. The emergence of nanotechnology in India has witnessed the engagement of a diverse set of players, each with their own agenda and role. So in this whole article, if you will see the whole summary about this nanotechnology has a great significance in the medical sciences. And if you will tell about nanotechnology is not only it was not only invented today or yesterday. This was invented from our prehistoric periods. So our ancients also used to see this nanotechnology applications. I had explained you it in with the example, by taking the example of lizards. That was also an evidence that in history, also in our past also, we had seen the applications of nanotechnology. So here you can see the gecko. So this gecko, how gecko's legs are nanotechnologically advanced, and that all kind of things. So in our day-to-day life also, you can say that lizards are using nanotechnology. So why not the scientists can develop more and more on this field. So I think this is the end of the articles, and thank you for watching this video, and thank you.